Hit me.
Episode 414. Man, I love a palindrome.
You gotta throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Tony Abdullah. It's a tech podcast, but we're a shit ton cooler than your typical geek. Giving you the info you need to achieve mega nerd status. Now, here's Will and Tony.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
Goddamn right. Hey, everybody, welcome. I know you've been missing it. I've been getting your letters. I've been getting your messenger pigeons. I've been getting no indicator at all. But hey, look, it's another episode of NetHeads. My name's Will.
And I'm Tony.
You want to take part in the program? You can't one of many ways. The easiest, just chat wherever the hell you are. Throw a hashtag NetHeads on however you like to chat, post, or whatever. Maybe you'll get our attention. You definitely will commenting on. In case you guys aren't clear, one of the primary hubs that we broadcast on is that red one with the play button thingy. So, keep that in mind.
We're not on any other hubs. We're not on any other hubs, I promise. It's not this kind of show.
No, we're not. No. Wow. That was a thinker there for a second, Tony. Tony, it's so nice to see you. I got to ask, and for those of you that have been wondering why exactly, well, first of all, actually, let's reassure the audience. Congratulations, guys. Thank you very much. I do have friends still. Thank you. The last two episodes, I think, or one have been me talking to myself, Tony. And recording it and publishing it, not just sitting here talking to myself. I do that all the time. But anyway, you've been gone for a while, which is part of the reason why I haven't done anything since October 23rd, because I
feel important.
I don't want to speak to myself. One, because it's terrifying to discover I can talk for over an hour, just me. But also I really prefer NetHeads. Well, NetHeads is the excuse for me to talk to friends.
NetHeads is plural. You can't do it with just one.
I mean, there you go. See? All that other stuff.
Putting your heads together, tip to tip. No, well.
No. Stop. Be cool. Look, Tony, the whole point is you've been gone for a while. And I think it was somewhere around mid-September, maybe. Possibly like shortly after my anniversary. I started to get hip to a certain fact, and that was my man is busy, right?
Yes, I pretty much had no life from like August until after Halloween. So yeah, that was just how it was.
And that is the reason why the episode for today's show is strike that. The title for today's show is, I'm sorry, I also had a conversation with my wife. I just need to call it a podcast now. It's not the show. It's not the program. It's a podcast. Now that podcasts are considered video presentations or audio presentations, I don't know, probably in Braille somewhere too. I should just be referring to this as a podcast. So every time, Tony, I say the show or the program or anything, well, actually, I'm going to still say the program. You can't penalize me that. But if I say show, I owe somebody $1. You got to keep track of that. Look.
Ooh.
The whole point of why you were being busy and why you weren't around is because the title of the podcast is Tales from a Zombie Store Manager. And the reason why is because I thought it was ever so clever, but also because Tony has been managing, right? Not assistant managing.
Assistant manager, but I kind of feel like sometimes I was managing. But
assistant to the manager. Look, Tony was assistant managing a Spirit Halloween store, which, as we all know, are stores that establish themselves within the dead carcass of other stores, hence Tales from a Zombie Store Manager.
And just happened that this year we were inside of a Joanne Fabrics. So,
which, by the way, apparently was the pop-in spot for Spirit Halloween to drop into this season. I don't know why they always seem to target a particular type of store that had been closed. But in this case, yeah, Joanne Fabrics was the most recent victim that we're aware of. So, Tony, I guess the thing that I want to do is just I want to hear from you just part of, your experience in running, assistant managing a Spirit Halloween store because, first of all, when you walk into them, they are pure chaos. They are just inherent chaos because between the animatronics, which I learned something so new this season about animatronics and returns that I don't want to talk about it. People do your own research, but it was terrifying. But you've got the animatronics, and of course you've got kids running around, and you've got adults running around, and they're going in and out of the costume aisles and everything. So what is it like trying to harness chaos?
It is like taking a bag full of cats, shaking it, and then expecting them to come out perfectly happy and fine without getting scratched. It is impossible in that sense. Other than that, it is probably the one store where the clientele that come in, for the most part, for like 90% of the time, are the coolest and chillest people because they're just people vibing with Halloween and spooky and horror stuff. And so it's like watching people go into like, it's like a kid going into Toys R Us for the first time, if you even know what Toys R Us is, because, you know, thanks, Jeff Bezos. But apart from that, we have, you know, we have like staff that have been barely trained on anything. We have antiquated equipment that probably has been with the store since 1983 when Spirit started. The computers are so old that they're still running the exact same programs that they've been running every single year beforehand. And you typically will end up finding something that was like a remnant from the year before, because what you don't realize is, like just let's say our store, we almost didn't exist this year because of tariffs. And so when they decided that they were going to do it, they were going to only open a few stores this year, and then things kind of alleviated a little bit. But if you've noticed how expensive things were this year, the tariffs still did affect us because some of that stuff was really expensive. But then what you have is a store that is full of so many things from the previous year, because whatever doesn't sell and whatever doesn't get discarded and ends up going to SOC, which is, you know, the Spirit of Children, the donations to the local hospitals for like their parties and stuff like that. Those things get basically put in boxes, inventoried, and shoved into pack rats that will then stay in storage for the next year. So one recommendation I make, do not buy candy from Spirit Halloween.
Oh, noted. That's
unless
gross.
It's like if you start seeing the staff or the actual people working there buying things, you're usually safe with the really good brand stuff like the Warheads and like the horror like mints and stuff. But those rock candies, they do get new ones, but I promise you they have been around the bin.
Yeah, I'm not look, man, I'm not buying my candy or anything that I would consume from these pop-up stores just for that exact same reason. I mean, that and the fact that in that environment everyone has touched everything about 100 times, so that's another reason why I wouldn't mess with it.
If I could, are we wanting to give insider information? Is that kind of where we're wanting to go?
No, man. I just wanted to like maybe just get kind of into the experience a little bit, because I think if we're not one, and by the way, I have to say, when it comes to the vibe of the people that I've seen working at Spirit Halloween store, this is a very dated reference, but it really is akin to the staff that used to be working at Tower Records for me. Because they were, right? See, yes. I said that and you just instantly honed in and you said, yeah.
Yes, because you've got the seasoned retail people that are looking at this for an extra job. There are the people who are like really into what the niche is. So like they're super gothic, super like fun. My favorite people, the most fun people, you know, which I've made some really great friends this year working at Spirit. And then you've got those other ones that are like, you just like sit there and you look like, how did they even get a job at this store? Like,
how did they successfully get out of bed this morning and function?
Or how do they remember to breathe?
I don't, yeah, it happens sometimes. It happens. So all in all, well, actually, I think it's pretty clear that I think you feel that it can be a fun extra source of income, considering you actually return to it. But I think that's one of the things that people don't realize that is a perk about actually working at a Spirit Halloween store. First of all, you already get a deep discount.
Yep.
And if we learned anything from the baristas at Starbucks over this ridiculous glass jar barista cup, you also have a first crack at the best stuff that's on clearance. But also another thing that you did with this employment at last year was actually you built up a pre-surplus of cool stuff for Christmas for your son.
I did it again this year too.
Yeah.
So last year I spent probably a little bit over $300, almost $400 for about $1,000 worth of stuff. This year, playing it smart. Now I did buy a couple things beforehand because I just really wanted them, which I was okay. And we also get like a employee 40% off day because our normal discount is 30% off. So it was more incentive to buy something ahead of time because like we need costumes for Halloween, so why not?
Right.
But I can tell you right now, I think we spent almost $800 for probably about $2,500 to $3,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, see? And I got to tell you, I was crying because Tony has also there are friends and perks and things. And so when I discovered after the fact that there had still been proton packs at my Spirit, I am so pissed I did not go in on November 2nd. So pissed. So
we
pissed.
had 3 at our store and they were gone within the first couple hours.
See?
And I got a ghost trap this year, which I'm super happy about.
You're just building your entire Bustin' to make you feel good setup.
Oh, but let me tell you something. So
Yeah.
this is the insider thing, but this is the most frustrating part. So the in-store entertainment, the Subway, and all the stuff from this year, they call it the ISE. You can buy those things if you don't know it. There is a list in the book. So if you want those items, you can put your name down, or you can put somebody else's name down if you're an employee, because really we shouldn't be, doing stuff. But of course, you can kind of see some stuff
has made its way here
where it needs to go. And so
I've always wanted to see my name in lights, kid.
Exactly. And it's like, and I have 2 holographic fans now. And it's really funny. If I had a nickel for every holographic fan I had, there you go.
You have 2 nickels, but it's strange that it happened twice. Anyway.
Oh yeah. But so you can get those things, and the signs that go in the up in the area. So like the Spider-Man signs or the Fantastic Four signs, those end cap signs, all of that stuff, those don't get reused. So you can just ask for them, and they cost pennies if you go in on the second to buy it. And so it's insane to me that people don't. But here's the thing: the young he from Squid Games, that was a $649 animatronic. Okay. Yeah. The last day, November 2nd, or no, I'm sorry, November 3rd, because some of the stores were open until November 3rd. Yeah. They were advertising on Instagram that you could still buy the young he. The last hour, the young he $650 whatever animatronic was going for $50.
See, man, look at that. But I got to tell you, the thing that I'm most excited to hear about, which I don't know why I never conceptualized it, other than I just thought somebody at the store is going to get this, are those kind of special display runs that the stores have. Like one time it was like you were kind of going through at least a small freak show hall. Another year it had a similar type of central chamber you went down. And I'm like, man, that would be cool to have if you wanted to set up your own like haunted house at home.
Yeah. So this year, because I had gotten some stuff from the last year, I actually got one of those carnival booths from last year.
Yeah.
And so for my full-time job, they somehow unceremoniously recruited me for decorating for the Halloween party 2 days before the party took place.
Gee, I don't know why they chose you.
And so I grabbed that cardboard carnival piece, the holographic fan, and then the year that I helped last year when I helped tear things down, a bunch of those giant webs that you put outside were just being discarded. And so I had them, and so we covered the entire room with those. And I had a Terrifier sign and like a inflatable, like the dude you see at like car washes and stuff, like that was there. And then like some of the stuff, all of that stuff came in clutch to be able to make it a great Halloween party. And so if you're not thinking about, and I'll tell you, like the guy who bought the subway car this year, not only bought the subway car, he bought every single floor animatronic that was on display.
Oh, wow.
Now, on day one of the day after of Halloween, November 1st, animatronics were already 50% off, but we took an additional 25% off of the floor models, and he had put his name down on that ISE book so that he would get called. And then I decided I didn't want the subway car, so I went ahead and called him, and he came and took the subway car, which took him 5 hours to dismantle. And then they would not give him the metal frame that goes with it. The Spirit still wanted that. And so he had to go do the measurements of it a couple days later to make sure he could make it with 4x4s.
Right.
But he literally said, like, they were going to send him a digital copy of the manual to put the thing back together. But after 5 hours of taking that thing apart and putting it in a U-Haul, I have no idea how he's going to put it together. But he does a festival where he's got over 100 animatronics that he has all over his property for people to come, and they party and they do all that kind of stuff. I promise you, I want to go to that party this next year. But
yeah, man,
it's cool.
Especially with that level of detail.
Yep.
And you know, the thing is, you gotta appreciate a deal, right?
Oh yeah.
I know I appreciate a deal. Like every month, Tony, for this year, if you're a 3D printer, guys, I got to tell you right now, if there's any one thing that you always need, it's filament. Yes, I recently put in about 7 feet long of shelving just for filament, but trust me, you always need more filament. And in case you didn't notice the shirt that I'm wearing, if you want to use the link in the description, you can get yourself, I believe it's like a 5% discount, and you can get yourself the slice box, especially the ultra premium slice box. Now, it's a subscription box, but it comes with original made filaments, quality filaments, and it's not the stuff they're just casting off. It's good quality filament that they're making for this purpose. But like, I just got to show you, look at the deals that happened in September. I don't know DeWalt about it, but if you look at the vault, it's got that yellow that you can make some accessories for your tools in. There was also either the Mayura Pastel or the Tricolor Matte, both of them PLA Pros. This month's has a tricolor. I gotta admit, I couldn't find the box. I'm terrible. But
it's not
this
like you
month,
have too much 3D printing stuff in the first place.
this one, unless it's that, unless I already opened it and it's that box there, but like, where's the extras? But it's also got a tricolor filament in it this month that is red, green, and black. And I'm like, oh my gosh, tricolor ornaments. What else did I want to print in it? There's something already I want to print in it. I don't know if you've noticed these multi-point star fidget toys that have been popping up. Got the pattern for that. It's going to look beautiful in that tricolor filament. So you can see instantly, you see the color filament and you're like, oh, I got a use for that. And I do. And the other thing too is it's always going to come with a gift. And in this case, last month, it was the Mr. Deep Depth Gauge. Be cool. So if you're trying to like do a 3D print design, right? You're actually developing it, or you're trying to replicate something. You always need to know precise measurements, including how deep something is. Be cool. That so you can get the exact measurement, so that way you can tailor the piece the way you want. And everybody's seeing calipers that go this way and that way, but how do you just conveniently get that depth? If you need to know how deep something is, be cool. You can use Mr. Deep to figure that out. And you could have gotten that in September.
It's always accurate, and you don't have to assume that it could be 2 inches to 6 inches.
Hey, look, man. It's a good enough size. The other thing, too, that I also always have to point out about SliceWorks, the reason why I love them, I precariously print a lot of things. I actually, for Halloween, reprinted the Wolverine mask because it was a better design. I wanted to use it. And when I printed the sideburns of it, no supports, no brim, It couldn't be any more than 2 millimeters wide and a long spine running along the strip of the Neo-dipped sticky build plate. I don't use glues. I half the time don't need brim. It's so wonderful being able to start a print knowing you have the peace of mind of a Neo-dipped build plate. Also, like, you know, they always have special discount offers on things you can add to your slice box as well, including their t-shirts that have recreations of some of the best sticker game in the game. Because you'll always get stickers and a little bit of candy too. It's the greatest deal. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this real quick, because I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting any benefit from this. When you talked about the build plate months ago, one of the first things I did was I used the NetHead code and I bought my build plate for my K1 Max. And what they don't advertise, and I really wish that they would, you know, they're talking about double dipped or like, you know, the coating and everything. I have never owned a build plate from anywhere where you could just flip the build plate over if you wanted to. The really cool thing about SliceWorks is both sides are usable on your printer. So if, let's say you decide, and I highly recommend, don't use a metal scraper on your SliceWorks thing, because you don't need to. If you need to, grab with the pliers and pull it off, or get a plastic scraper, because you don't want to mess up that coating, because that coating is everything. And I promise you that. I have not used a glue stick on any of my products since I bought that thing. My prints don't fail for any other reason than the filament's crappy.
That's
the only time I've ever had a problem now.
And that's why you got to get yourself some of that SliceWorks filament too, buddy. You need that for you. It gives you the peace of mind. As ZB says in the chat, get your fill of filament while also getting extra cool stuff. Gift yourself for the holiday season. The SliceWorks slice box, the ultra premium one, is the one you want. Use the link in the show description and code ThatWillWilkins at checkout to let them know you heard about how great their stuff is from us. And it's an American business, man. So if you're like, support America, there you go. You can do that too. All right. Now that we've talked about that, Tony, and we've talked about the store experience, now it's time to get into some stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, and also I want a special shout out this week's Patreon supporter, Ryan Connolly. Thank you, sir, for your support. We always love and appreciate you. If you want to also be one of the people that can get shouted out, all you got to do, even at the most basic level, just be a member of our Patreon. That's patreon.com/netheadsonair. You can find us there too. So, Tony, I didn't know what was going to work in here when I sat down today, because I went through, I don't know if you have been through this, but I sat down and suddenly I was getting a loud buzz from my microphone. And suddenly I was realizing I can't hear myself so well. So now I'm sitting in a studio, quote unquote. I'm sitting in a cluttered office, and I am running a traditional XLR microphone into a mixer that in turn is taking a signal and putting it into a computer that has a monitor. So now I have all of these different power sources. Getting a buzz or a ground loop buzz or any type of buzz, it's our kryptonite. It is the worst. It is the absolute worst, because troubleshooting it is going to drive you insane.
Oh, yeah.
And it did for me. I'm going to save you guys the long tales of replacing XLR cables and doing this and doing that and rewiring power plugs. I use here this Shure microphone, right? The SMB, I think. I don't know what it is. But I also always use a cloud lifter. Now, the cloud lifter will take the phantom power from a traditional mixer, and it'll raise the floor of the sound without increasing the gain. So in other words, it's like an instant 25 dB lift without having to increase the gain, giving you the clarity of my voice without a ton of the noise in the room. And I learned something, Tony. These can go bad.
Oh, wow.
This was the problem. And wouldn't you know it, thank God I had a backup laying around. But yeah, my cloud lifter went bad. I never would have expected it, because it is a most basic type of equipment, mostly just, almost, well, it requires power, but definitely nothing digital here. I was just astonished. And I think the problem was that we ran into a situation where the power went out in the house. And I think during the time where it was flicking and jumping, just maybe something happened. Or, it's just older than dog piss and is just as rancid now. Who knows?
That's a good question. So, Will, do you run an APC for your computer?
Gesundheit. No, I don't have a backup power supply.
Okay.
Because if I were to get one, the only thing I would do would be to invest in something like a power wall. So that way the house is just running and it's not just my selfish little office. I don't run them on my 3D printers, nothing. Look, man, if the power goes out, the power goes out. It's so infrequent here. It's a different story for you, I'm sure, but power loss is so infrequent here that, who cares? I mean, I don't want my computers to blow up, but you run the amount of power I'm running through one outlet for all of this shit. I think the potential of losing equipment isn't the scariest thing we're talking about here.
Yeah,
we're talking about the potential for fire.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When you told me to to do this, I actually that night I ran through everything to make sure that there weren't issues because I had just moved my computer from where it was over here to back to my original configuration, which is why my background's a little bit different. It's a little bit more angled than it is right up against the wall.
You got depth going. Depth is
good.
Yeah,
it's got the depth. It's not as nice as I felt like I had a nice framed space, but I have to have room because if I don't have this space, then I can't. Because I'm in the process of building another gaming table, so I need the space to build. But I was terrified that this wasn't going to work. And so, it sucks. Cause I remember one day I came in, my computer wouldn't even start. And so I ended up going to the store and buying a $90 1 terabyte M.2 because I thought maybe my boot drive was bad. And it just happened that one of the solid states that carried really nothing at all was just bad itself, and once I unplugged it, it stopped trying to boot from it, and it worked as normal.
Oh,
so
nice.
I spent $90 for nothing.
Yeah,
except for now I've got a terabyte more.
It's funny you mentioned that because I am considering. I still have one slot open for another solid state drive, and I'm thinking about getting another one. So that way, when I'm doing digital editing, I can have all my footage on one solid drive and all of the exported results to a different one. Or more to the point, I could also somewhere in there also incorporate where the scratch file, the temp file, is also on one of those two drives. So anyway, neither here nor there.
Yeah, slots are meant to be filled, so do it.
Be cool. Look. Hey, Tony, have you been watching any television?
A little bit. Not
a whole lot because you've been working.
I haven't had much time.
Well, Tony, I got some bad news for you. Okay, right now you're at the point because I'm sure you have noticed on your FYP and your social media feed, probably knocking at your front door. Stranger Things Season 5 is finally going to be here, kicking off with it's basically a 3-part release where we're going to get a few episodes on Thanksgiving, a few episodes on Christmas, and then the series finale on New Year's Day, I think, or New Year's Eve?
I think
New
so.
Year's Eve.
Something like that, yeah.
One of those, I don't know. But the thing I realized about this was, man, you know what I remember about Stranger Things? Not a whole hell of a lot, because this show has been going so damn long, and it's so damn long between seasons lately. There was a pandemic, guys. We all get it, but still. So I started doing a rewatch, and I think it was actually yesterday or the day before. If you started your rewatch then and you just took in 2 episodes a night, you didn't want to do anything psychotic, you could have done 2 episodes a night, got you up to the 26th. I'm excited for this, and so I'm doing a rewatch of Stranger Things, and it is so nice actually to do this leading into the new season because I'm catching so much stuff. I've already seen season 4.
Yeah.
And it's the most recent, so it's the one I remember the most of. So seeing some of the things when you're going through the show and ways they can be interpreted. Spoilers, season 4, the villain they have named Vecna, and one of the things that he torments his victims with is this grandfather clock that chimes 4 times. And there are different periods in each one of the seasons where you can almost hear a sound that does sound like a distorted grandfather clock. So like that's cool. And I think the Duffer Brothers have done a very good job of threading the needle of having this story and being rather consistent with their ideas, and everything plays backwards. I will freely admit, I started my rewatch last week, and I am 2 episodes or 3 episodes into season 4 already. So I'm definitely going to hit the target. The only thing I don't like about this is that I feel, because I am such a social media addict, yes, I have a problem. Am I going to take care of that? No. I feel like I'm going to be bullied into watching these as they release, because if I don't,
you get spoiled.
Somebody's going to spoil something for me. Yeah. So I'm not really pumped about it, because what I would love to do instead is I would love to have just release the whole thing on New Year's Eve, guys. And that's going to be my New Year's Eve. I'm going to plan it out, and Stranger Things, the last moment of it, is going to be the thing that rings in my new year. So I'll be sobbing and I'm like, Happy New Year, kissing my wife, and she's mad at me because I made her watch Stranger Things. It'd be a great thing, but guess that's not going to happen now. But what about you? Are you a strange thinger? Roll with it.
Be cool. No, but honestly, yes, I really went into the show, enjoying it. I've followed along. I have the VHS like version of, like, I think the first 2 seasons, because they served the DVDs on VHS tape looking like cases, which was amazing. And I've enjoyed the show, but I will tell you, going back now as a D&D, like
an actual DM.
Yeah, as an actual DM going in and seeing it, and it's like the names, like the Demogorgon and the Vecna and all of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool. I love how they use that as a comparison. You could tell that there was a lot of care brought into it. The Hellfire Club in season 4, all of that stuff. Like you see it building up. But I will tell you, it was important to go back and rewatch stuff, because just like you were saying, my thing is I'll go on TikTok and I'll see a clip and I'm like, wait, was that season 1, or was that 2, or what was that 3? Did that happen before?
Yeah.
Or was that, and like you forget where things kind of fall in the timeline, because it all starts to blur together because it's been so long and you don't go back and watch. I highly recommend a rewatch. I just don't know if you've seen, like, they're going to do like a fully animated version of the show.
Yeah, they're going to have something that happened between 3 and 4.
Yeah,
I don't care about that, man. I just got to get through this journey. I understand. Look,
but I will say,
Netflix, try to get blood from that stone. Go for it.
But I appreciate the Duffer Brothers and the care that they're taking, as much as it's been painstaking to try to wait for the culmination of all of this. I will say, at least they didn't like phone it in like they did with Game of Thrones. Like, not the moment, like the Game of Thrones creators. The
Game of Thrones creators were they were the kind of people where something's freaking out at Tony's house. But they're the kind of people that, can you not hear me? I don't know what's
something
going
started talking.
Okay, well, it wasn't me. Look, or actually, it was me. The Game of Thrones guys, the moment they had source material no longer available to them, that's where things went flailing. And it's understandable. I don't think the Duffer Brothers are going to do that. I think we're going to get one hell of a season closer. And the only thing I'm wondering is the number of people that are really into D&D that are going to be so pissed off they either didn't go into the lore or their friends didn't listen to them about these campaigns. And it turns out like the answer has been in D&D all along too. You know what I mean? Because really, they're not just borrowing these elements; they're bringing them in contextually as well. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. But man, right now my feed is nothing but entertainment content creators just doing some variation of their spin right now, trying to capitalize on Stranger Things.
And either that or a bunch of creators on the Disney Destiny's cruise ship. Like, I feel like that's all my feed is right now too.
Oh, thankfully I don't have to deal with that. But man, I tell you, I I'm starting to lose my patience with the number of people that come up on my FYP, and now it's almost like content delivery copying. Because I feel like there are at least 2 or 3 guys, maybe even 4, that have come across my feed, and they come in and they're just like, my new Stranger Things theory is going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
And then they go into the delivery, and I'm like, okay, first of all, easy, pal. None of us know anything, really. And second of all, you sound like the guy I saw 2 videos ago.
Yeah. I want to be the guy that goes like, Stranger Things, season 5 theory, and then just be like, hey, look at my Legos, you know?
I think that's a good idea. You may as well spin the content any way you can. But I will say, though, that it'll be very interesting for social media addicts, I think, in the breaks between these arcs, because one of my favorite memories of TikTok in 2020, of all things, was that wonderful world of fun and speculation we all had when WandaVision was out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I remember watching an episode and then I'd run down to the basement and be like, here's my thoughts on what, because I'm seeing like different things. I'm like, okay, the hexagon means something, you know, this is pointing to AIM. This is pointing to Hydra. This is doing this. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So, you know,
we're all wrong.
And we were all wrong. It was never Mephisto until we weren't expecting Mephisto. But it was a good run. By the way,
Sacha
speaking
Baron
of which,
Cohen.
I got to tell you something hilarious.
Yes.
Because as you know, I have made impulse buys time and time again when they present us with this ridiculous media. I've got Scott Lang's book, you know, Watch Out for the Little Guy, or whatever it is. Have I read it? No.
Scott Lang?
Yeah. And so now, I don't know if you remember, because I just rewatched it as part of my Halloween content now. You would think it would be Werewolf by Night. It's not. After last year, it's Agatha All Along. That's a must-watch for the Halloween season. But Tony, do you remember that they were putting together a set of tarot cards like the deck in the show? Well, let me tell you, in July, neither did I. I should say. I totally forgot I had ordered this, didn't know it was on the way, and one day just tarot cards show up. So guys, when I am desperate and broke, you'll be finding me on TikTok doing live tarot card readings.
Have a headdress on. Oh, my darling, let me tell you what you're
No, it wouldn't be like that.
You pull a Patti LuPone.
I'd want to be like Patti LuPone in that one, is what I would like to be. Okay. More media. I know we had segments for this shit, but I don't have time. Look, for new media, I have to tell you, last night, I watched the 2 first episodes, the first 2 episodes. I knew I'd get there eventually, of an Apple TV original show that just started. It's brought to us by Vince Gilligan, and it's called Pluribus. Okay.
Okay, and when I saw that on the cover thing, I had to look it up because I knew nothing about this show.
Okay, and here's the thing. All I'm going to say about it's shocking. You put this in the thumbnail. This is all you're saying. Guys, watch the show. Watch the show. I am telling you, watch the show. Don't find out anything about it and just watch it. Give it 20 minutes. You just need to give it 20 minutes, and I guarantee you will be mad that only the first 2, or as of tomorrow, the first 3, probably now, the first 3 episodes are available, and you want more. It is a mind bender. It is amazing. If you're a person that has been saying, I'm just tired that there's nothing new, brother, this is new.
I shouldn't say it's new. I'll say this. The synopsis by itself completely intrigued me and sold me on the show.
Yes, I would definitely go with that. And I would say, okay, maybe it's not a wholly original idea, but fans of Rick and Morty would get the vibe eventually. I'll just say that.
That's awesome.
So please check it out. Check it out. Tony, I've missed something. I've missed something greatly, so much so that I'm clapping my hands like a small child that's excited. And that is the fact that one of my favorite things to do about this show is to come up with the ridiculous things that I 3D print, show them to my co-host. And Tony, you have to tell me.
What is my purpose?
You have to tell me the purpose of the thing, okay?
Okay.
We're going to do a few of them. I'm going to give you a layup, though.
I want you to do full screen so I can really get a good
Okay,
view
yeah,
of
I understand. So that way you're not peering at the tiny little image. Instead, you're peering into my soul, trying to see if I
Even though
truly
I'm
am
still
a madman.
peering at a tiny little image because I'm on a prompter.
That's a problem then. Well, then you're really hosed. Okay,
Hold on,
Tony.
I'll move us over so I can see on the bigger.
I've already shown this on the last show, but I'm going to show it now. Do you know what this is?
That is a microphone holder.
That is correct. That is very simple.
I have one very similar to that I use for my clip-on mic. You put your clip-on mic on it, and you can put a cover on it.
That is very true. You can do this. You can do this. And voila, now I've got a microphone that has a little more girth. Be cool. And it'll be easier holding to either point at people or my mouth. Be cool. Look. So that was an easy one. That was a layup.
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask you, Tony.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a few views. What is this? For those of you that are just listening to this, what I'm now doing up is I'm holding up something that kind of looks cubish. It seems to have some silver dots going all around the cube, and then there's some type of almost diamond shape inside of a hollow circle in the middle of this. Tony, can you guess, when you're looking at this block, can you tell it?
What is my purpose?
Okay. Can I ask a few questions to kind of get myself?
I need to get your first impression first.
Okay. I feel like it's some type of visual calibration tool.
Interesting. Okay. Instead, I'm going to give you one more hint.
Wait a second.
I'm going to give you one more hint.
Does it have anything to do with the first item? I just realized what it was. I realized what it is.
Okay, Tony.
It's the microphone flag.
What is my purpose?
That is correct. And astute viewers of NetHeads may have noticed that at the end of my microphone, suddenly it has changed from advertising for the wonderful folks at Shure, and instead there is a specialized thing that says, that when you look at it, I'm sure you're like, I can't read what that is. Well, I'll give you a better example of what it is, because it's a TWW for that Will Wilkins of all the ridiculous things.
That's cool.
But if you want, and the silver dots are magnets. So that way, if you need to change your flag, all you have to do is have the other ones 3D printed again.
I need to do that one. I really need to do that one.
Right. And then it just slides right on. Now, the only thing is I had to modify it because this one was meant for one thing and I'm using it here and I want to make sure it's snug. So, it's not the easiest thing to slide on and off, but there you go. Now I got that Will Wilkins. Now, the problem that I mentioned last episode too, Tony, is now that I've discovered that I can 3D print a microphone holder, baby, I can also do a mic holder and a mic flag for any damn mood I'm in now. You know what I mean? Here's a gold one because I'm being pretentious. Here's a silver one because I'm feeling special. Whatever.
Like you could do one for WTF news.
Exactly. And that's still one of my initials, so I'm in for it. Well, I'm glad you were able to determine what the items were. That made me feel good. I have one more, but I'm going to save that one.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold it in reserve. That way, in case I don't print anything meaningful before the next episode, I know I have something. But I know what it is, so we're okay. But I gotta tell you, I love this because I'm really tired of. It looks weird when people are holding up clip-on microphones just to their face. I'm not willing to accept that. I prefer there to be a microphone. And if I just wanted to shoot here for any content, like I could throw this into a mic holder too, and it just looks like a mic. So. Yeah. I really dig that. What were the other things I wanted to talk about? Pluribus. Oh, I don't know if you noticed this, Tony, but if we start getting into the pop culture of things, and you're probably going to hear a much bigger, expanded version of this Sunday morning for the West Coast or Sunday afternoon for the East Coast, when apparently I've heard a rumor that a little show named TARDIS Talk may be coming back.
That's right.
And one of the things you're probably going to hear us discuss in this Who News. It's actually old news by this point, but I'm sure we'll be discussing it. But it's interesting. The thing that all of us expected to happen, Disney Plus backing out of, or not going forward with Doctor Who. And it's very interesting, the series of events. And honestly, we're not really going to talk about this here. We're going to talk about it on Sunday, I'm sure. But I just think it is very interesting in the spin that's happened, because obviously Disney Plus deferred releasing their news until first the BBC could announce that there would be a new episode of Doctor Who Christmas of 2026. So they lobby up that news. Disney Plus announces the dissolution of the partnership.
Yep.
Right? and
which was probably one of the best things that could have happened to the BBC and for Doctor Who.
yeah, more than likely.
It's not so much great for us American fans, because the whole excitement of Disney was the distribution that we knew we were going to be getting it.
Yeah.
As we were.
You know what? We'll get it how we get it, and that's just what it is.
We'll take what we can get.
Don't tell Dad. I was happy to just hear that there was going to be a Christmas special. Personally, I think the reason why it's not going to be until 2026 is more than likely so that way Bad Wolf can finish up all of their production costs for next year. Also, I'm sure Russell T. Davies is still trying to figure out how he's getting himself out of the Doctor appearing to regenerate into Billy Piper. So,
they kind of pigeonholed themselves there for a little bit.
Yeah. So, and I wonder if that's also going to be the last thing we see from Russell T. Davies, if that'll be it. I don't know. But, we'll be discussing it with the larger group on Sunday, and that's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific.
There we go. Yeah. So in AM and PM, respectively.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll see you there. Tony, was there anything else that I wanted to talk about that I said at the top of the show? I don't think there is. I think we have reached.
No,
you know what? It's okay that it's an abbreviated version. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We can be under an hour. I can terrifyingly continue on. But I just don't know that there's anything that I'm passionate to talk about. Plus, the sound of my dog barking is driving me absolutely insane right now.
Oh, Benny.
Yes, he is. He has been quite the character. Tony. When does it's weird asking you this with twinkle lights in the back, but when does Christmas start going up in the Abdullah household?
So it on the regular basis before I started working at Spirit, we would have a lot of the Christmas stuff open and up before Halloween was over.
Oh, wow.
Which I know is like sacrilege, but it is what it is. Since I've worked at Spirit the last 2 years, we're kind of weeks behind. Our goal is to have it done before Thanksgiving. We are going to be working on it this Saturday. Some stuff is already upstairs, but we still have a crap ton of Christmas that we have to deal with. And I'm talking about multiple trees in rooms for no apparent reason. Like the living room, we have 3 trees. And then we have 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the dining room, 2 in the dining. It's too much, but we love it.
I mean, I don't know how to gauge the content of one's decoration supply, but just figuratively speaking, how many tubs are we talking about? Let's just approximate it. 27-gallon tub.
20 or more.
Oh, wow. Never mind then. Yeah,
I literally talk okay. So just to give you, we have the 7-foot tree, which we can't use the top because the ceiling is too short. So we have that tree. That's the main tree that you can't even see the tree once all the ornaments are on because 42 years of ornaments have been on that tree and you can't see the tree. Then we have another tree that is decorated specifically in red and gold, and then we have a new tree that we added that is flocked that we got at a yard sale because why not? And then we have a tree that snows in the kitchen. And then we have a silver and white tree in the dining room.
Tony,
and then
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there.
Crackers. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to stop you right there. Because I'm terrified because I'm now at the point where
I'll send pictures.
I need a third tree. I know there's a 6.5-foot one. The thing that I am amazed by is the number of artificial trees I have right now alone. Because I do have at least 4, maybe approximately 5, but only one of them, it's a 12-foot, a 9-foot, I don't know, taller than me, maybe an 8-foot. And then there's a 6.5-foot that's still out there. I don't know what that tree is. I don't know whose it is. But we're already at the point where, my wife didn't even put out any of her Hallmark decorations because all of the family and sentimental ones have already filled up the 12-foot tree. So, hearing you with all your trees is terrifying. Also, I've only got approximately, I'm maybe somewhere around 9 tubs. So I am woefully behind. I have been schooled. I've learned my lesson. I'm not talking to you about this. I will say, though, that obviously when you do accumulate and have this much stuff, it does take time. It's understandable you didn't get there because my wife and my children are the main drivers. I get the tubs. I put the tubs away. I put the trees up. Anything else I do is voluntary and appreciated by the house. There's not a whole hell of a lot of it, though. So that took my wife at least 3 days to decorate the downstairs. 3 days. It's just like, okay, first we're going to do the nerd tree. Then we're going to do the mantle. Now we got to do the family tree. Now we got to put up all the snowmen. I mean,
pause for a second. What's on the nerd tree?
Oh, you've seen it. I feature it almost every year. It is a hodgepodge of Marvel, DC, Star Trek, and pop culture. Star Wars and pop culture. Because, you know, I have elements of all of those things I mention, but I also have a small leg lamp ornament. I have a Chevy Chase throwing the plugs together for the Christmas lights. I have the family truckster, you know, so I have these pop culture elements. But I will tell you the dangers of the internet, because I made the mistake of trying to look up one of the things, some of the first ornaments I ever bought on my own for my household and for me were Hallmark's, we'll get there, Hallmark's Starship line, or more to the point, Star Trek spaceship line. It kicked off in '91 with the with the original series Enterprise, and then it started getting into like everything else. You know, there's a Klingon, a Romulan ship, a Klingon bird of prey. There is the Reliant. There's obviously the Enterprise D, the Enterprise, whatever the hell it is from the movie, you know, the later movies. So lots of Star Trek stuff. But what I discovered is that I didn't have the original Enterprise. Okay. I had the one from like the rebooted movies, I think. And then there were a few other ships that up through. Anyway, the whole point is I found out I didn't have these because you can't put these on an LED tree. They don't get powered. So now I'm investigating ways to try and get strings of lights just to power my ornaments. And that's when I discovered I didn't have these ships. Well, at which point, frickin' eBay, go to hell.
Hallmark has the things that you can do to individually power your ships.
They have them, they always say for year X and after, and these ones are out of that window. And what I envisioned what I would do is I would get a few small string of lights, because in theory, you're only supposed to put 4 ships per string of lights, and I think I have at least 12. But what I would love to do is get small strings of lights, except I don't want it to have bulbs. I want it to just have a circuit bridging plug that goes into every outlet except where I'm putting ships, at which point then I plug the ship in there. Right? That's
sounds like a wiring project.
It does. And there are probably better and easier solutions, but I don't know how much I need to hear my Galileo 7. Well, actually, I kind of do need to hear it because no, not that Galileo.
I know.
It's the Galileo 7 from the original series, and actually that has the voice of Leonard Nimoy in it. Which is ironic because he's Jewish, but it's Shuttlecraft Enterprise, Spock here, season's greetings, live long and prosper. And that's Nimoy's voice. So I don't have that magic right now. So I was about to say, I don't really need these things to light up or blink, but also the Defiant has Worf's voice on it. So, I want to hear Worf.
Well, it's funny because like I got hooked on, for no apparent reason, I have the Death Star tree topper from Hallmark that has the lightsaber switch for it. And I've got a couple of the New Hope pieces that link to it so that they do their narration. I've never actually had them on a tree. I've just plugged them in to look at them.
I just like them to work together. Well, that's the way that you get to see them in Hallmark anyway.
I don't have enough to make a Star Wars tree, because the Marvel and the thing is the Marvel tree is not going up down here anymore. I'm taking it to work with me because I figure if I'm going to be at a job for 8 hours during the Christmas season, I'm going to look at that tree while I'm working.
There you go. That's a good plan, man. I fully endorse this. If you guys want to fill in the comment section with what you do for your Christmas or holiday season, love to hear about it.
How do you deck your halls?
Yeah, exactly. How do you jingle your balls? That's what we want to know.
Yes.
No, it isn't. How do you jingle your bells is what I meant. By the way, I did also see a 3D print I'm dying to make. You 3D print an insert for your tow hitch, and instead it has a black sign that looks like it's
for
got
the tow
bolts
hitch
in
or
it.
for your tow hitch?
For the tow hitch itself.
Okay.
And
Just want to make sure we got semantics right here.
And
Good.
it looks like it's got a metal sign that says, "Check out my balls," and then at the bottom it's got 2 swinging ornaments. I really want to make that.
That's great.
Yeah, I really want to make that. If you want to look that up, I think it's a 3D print by IK3D.
IK3D. Okay, cool.
Look that one up. But also, if you're a 3D printing enthusiast just beginning, or you know somebody in your life that does, make sure you go to the link in the show description to take advantage of 5% off your purchase at SliceWorks. Make sure to use that link and use code ThatWillWilkins at checkout to let them know that you're here, because if you support them, you're supporting us because they support us. It's what I call reciprocity. The give and take of the world, the passing along and harnessing of the chi, the circle of life. I've gone too far. Tony, tell everyone where they can find you.
That you can find me on at Mr. Marvelite whenever I do feel like doing anything, which doesn't always happen, but it's happening more so now. And you can find me on It's Fanbox at itsfanbox.com, as well as It's Fanbox on YouTube.
There you go. And of course, I'm on all social medias as That Will Wilkins. Would love for you to do a follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is, wherever it is. And also, guys, you know what? I know that for those of us here in the United States,
Sometimes it is the United States.
We're in a situation where, you know, I understand completely that times are financially hard. So anything you can do is great. Anything you can't do is also great. Do yourself a favor. Don't put pressure on yourself this holiday season to do anything. Just focus on what makes you happy, your mental health, and what you need to do to just appreciate the time you have with the people around you. Because, you know, that's all we can count on in life, really, is us and the people around us. So with that, also shout out to Patreon supporter of the week, Ryan Connolly. We love you, buddy. Until next time, my name is Will.
And I'm Tony.
And we'll be back
soon.
You hope. I don't know, though.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a Smodcast production. Smodcast Podcast, using our mouths on you since 2007.
Look, Tony, there's been a long-standing tradition on this show where we get to the end of the show, we close it out, we say goodbye, we do all this stuff, and then for some reason, we put the pressure on ourselves to be funny in a little thing we call the stinger. As a matter of fact, when it ends, I press a button, it says stinger. Why? Because it was the stinger. And the thing that I'm seeing a lot of on my FYP and the like when they're bringing us community is I'm wasting my time because there's no way I could do anything that was as good as the stingers that were on that show. But I mean, like, have you ever done that type of thing in any media you do?
You know, honestly, I've never been able to do it myself, and I've wanted to.
Well, you know what?
I can't be funny. You're asking me to be funny.
See, exactly.
But I will say this: when you were saying, you know, time is hard, do it yourself. Like, I knew there was a joke in there. I just couldn't slip it in fast enough, and yeah, miss opportunities.